productivity, winning strategies, and aligning employer-employee goals. If this sounds like something your business could use more of, then you've come to the right place. The Business Mechanic Show with your host, Vaughn Sigmund. Let Vaughn show you how to develop, improve, and jumpstart your business. So now, please welcome the host of The Business Mechanic, Vaughn Sigmund.
Welcome to the Business Mechanic Show. This is your host, Vaughn Sigmund. Today, we're going to be talking about why you should lead with a people-first mindset, which in my mind is the key to a successful company. And you do want to build a successful company, I'm sure, or you want to build a successful team. And it all starts and it all ends with people. And that's something I am very committed to. And as someone who has climbed the corporate ladder to become a CEO, I can't stress enough how important it is to prioritize your team and your company culture. I've learned how easy it is to get caught up in the other important elements of business, sales, products, strategies. And it's easy to let others like HR or your managers focus on the company culture. But let me assure you, the minute you lose sight as a CEO, as an executive within an organization, even a manager, as soon as you lose sight of the people part of your business, the other parts of your business are throttled or falter. And they become far harder to execute to a high level of success. And this all leads to frustration, sometimes blame, and often, this is so common, very often, to acceptance of mediocrity. I've seen this in companies countless times. I've seen it in teams countless times. And what motivated me to do this podcast was from an encounter I had just last week. Because I saw a lot of work, a lot of commitment to a people-first mindset go right out the window. And I know what's coming because I've seen it happen so many times. And I said, well, I need to talk about this. Because we must understand a people-first company is in the long game of success and knows that this investment, this discipline in a people-first culture takes time, but it returns long-term dividends and compounds at a higher ROI than any Band-Aids or short-term fixes. And whether you're running a major corporation or a small business, always remember that everything hinges on the people you bring on board and how you treat them. And in today's podcast, we're going to share some tips with you on how business leaders who want to prioritize their teams and company cultures, some of the things you can do that achieve just that. And I've said this before, I'm saying it again, this people-first approach has from a zero to a minimal cost, but it takes discipline. It takes commitment. It takes a long-term approach to growing a successful company because it's worth it. The results are substantial. I've seen it. I've lived it. So let's talk about what the elements of a people-first leadership mindset is. Here's some examples. When you're interviewing and bringing people on board, you have to envision who I want. I have to design the perfect employee, not their experience. That sometimes is important, but it's the least important of these two things. I've got to hire the right human. And that human needs to fit in to my people-first mindset with an entrepreneurial-minded approach. They need to be innovative. To keep up with a fast-paced market, changing times, difficult economic climates, we're constantly going to be upgrading and making pivots. And you need people who are hungry for success and willing to work and commit as if your company is their own company. And those people exist. You just have to find them and hire them. You have to know what questions to ask. You have to know what to look for, but you have to be looking for it. Don't look for their experience. Look for the human first. And if you bring them on board, then we need to foster their passion, reward their hard work, encourage them to contribute all the ideas, the strategies, give them a voice. Give them a part. And once they feel like they are a part of your business, they will start owning, air quotes, your business. That's extreme ownership. Another thing that's really important that many companies, in their zest or zeal to get things done, they fail to recognize. As a leader, it's crucial to stoke that fire with gratitude, recognition, and reward. Make sure they all have a voice to contribute to ideas, that you're getting suggestions, you're getting strategies, you're creating a deeper pool of collective knowledge. That's how you motivate people. That's how you gain this ownership that so many people want. It's how you get independence. That's how you are able to delegate things, get more initiative with your team. But nothing kills motivation. Motivation and drive faster than getting shut out of the conversation. And if you want your team to work as though they're personally invested in your company, you have to give them the floor and an opportunity to contribute to the company. And from a recognition standpoint, reap the rewards. We're going to talk about what some of those rewards can be. And certainly, don't hire yes people. Avoid employees who never push back. How do I know that? Again, I've got to know that's the DNA of the individual I want to hire. And it's important to have open, transparent conversations all the time. You want people who will challenge you. You want people to bring you ideas, that they will create different perspectives. And you value those perspectives. Surround yourself with people who aren't afraid to speak their minds and help you make better decisions. And if they don't ask questions and they're not challenging you from time to time in a respectful way, you've either hired the wrong people or you put them in a passive position or a passive mindset due to ineffective leadership approaches. And you need to create a people-first culture, which is what this whole podcast is about. Cultivate that workplace. Cultivate that environment. One that motivates and inspires your team. Celebrate wins, but make sure recognition is authentic and reflects the real impact on your company's growth. Focus on organizational alignment, process improvements, profitability, but tie those wins to behaviors. They need to understand what I'm doing, what is within me, what drives those successes. And please make recognition part of your leadership DNA. I say this often to leaders that I'm working with. You need to manage by walking around and catch them doing it right. Just because. It doesn't have to be anything special. You need to just catch them doing it right all day, every day. Make the time, invest the time in recognition. And yes, even if it's just them just doing their job. That, again, is that rocket fuel to commitment. If you want them to be committed to you, you need to be committed to them. If you want them to care, you need to care. And one of the best ways to stoke all that is to be genuine, be real, but make sure you're patting them on the back on a regular basis. And that doesn't cost you a cent. Also, it's important to have a career roadmap. Everybody needs to know where they can go within this organization. More importantly, how do I get there? And I have to have the structure internally to get them there. I have to have the training programs, but more importantly, I have to have the people to deliver the training. So it is important to don't skip on mentorship. You need to invest in nurturing future leaders or mentors within your company. It's essential. It's non-negotiable if you want to be long-term successful. And by doing so, that ensures a very smooth transition as you promote these long-term leaders, these emerging leaders. You've got replacements on board. As you promote these and transition to these new leaders, you've got replacements through their mentorship efforts and your company's framework of development. You need to have an internal succession plan, and literally for almost every position, but certainly supervisory position. And that forces you to make sure that a development program for your direct reports is an essential attribute, not only your company, but your leadership team. You personally need to make time for mentoring sessions. They need to make time for mentoring sessions and show your commitment to their personal growth, thus the success of your company. You need to build a company that's powered by people. Prioritize the people in your business, hire the right team members, create a healthy workplace environment, adopt this coaching or mentorship mentality. Always remember my motto, no matter what business you're in, the people business, embrace that mindset. And when you're really disciplined around it, you're really committed to it, and you're really practicing it, you're living it, everything else falls in place. It's amazing. And at results-driven leadership, we specialize in helping companies excel in three key areas: organizational alignment, systems and process improvements, and profitability. But it's all done with a people first and a people first approach. You get that done, you're going to get all those other things easily, much more easily. So our training programs are all for managers and executives, focus on time behaviors to drive these values. And here's how a few companies that I know that we've worked with has achieved a people-first culture. One recognizes and highlights employees who make significant contributions. They're looking for this, and they have great ways of recognizing it, pointing it out, and advertising it. There's multiple ways to do it, whether it's through LinkedIn or internal portals, built bulletin boards in the break room, Teams messages. Give a shout out to employees' accomplishments. It can't be 50 times a day all day. It needs to be something a little more special, but pointing these out, doing shout outs can go a very long way. Here's one instance that one of my clients, what they did was they recognized an IT staff member, and they were assigned the responsibility of creating a disaster recovery strategy. And while that doesn't sound so glamorous, it's a really crucial part of especially their business, but every business. When it hits the fan, what are we going to do? So this person invested their time and energy, research into creating a strategy for operations and business to continue if it hits the fan in the event of a disaster. And trust me, I've worked for companies who have these plans in place, and you'll appreciate it when you need it. It's not if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You never know when a fire is going to break out. You never know when you're going to get hacked. You never know when a hurricane is going to come through. You never know when all of a sudden your industry runs into some bad publicity somehow. It's a disaster. What are we going to do about it? Think about worst case scenarios. SWOT, strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats. That's often shortcutted in the strategic planning. But keep in mind, we need to have a plan when threats occur. So that's just one way. They went on LinkedIn, praised this individual, sent them a handwritten card, posted their picture and a nice narrative from the CEO with their appreciation on the company's portal. And they do that on a regular basis. They do it about once a week. And then they have an employee of the month, which is very common, but they're very serious about the criteria for you becoming an employee of the month. And you need one too. Effective employee recognition. And let me just give you some other ways. I'm going to give you 5 budget-friendly ways to show appreciation, to recognize and rewarding your employees, your team members. Like I often say, it doesn't have to cost a dime, and these certainly will not break the bank. So here's some very inexpensive strategies. Ones that I've used, one that I've seen, some that I've had used on me, and they're so meaningful. We sometimes forget how important we are in the lives of our direct reports. Think about this one. Personalized thank you notes. Just a heartfelt, handwritten note from a manager or an executive that will leave a lasting impression. You acknowledge a specific achievement and a contribution. You're talking about their commitment to hard work and how valued that is. It's I don't know, what's a postcard cost? 30 cents? $1? It's cheap. But it's the thought of that action that is so meaningful to people. Think about this. This is very popular today. Flexibility in work hours. Not everybody can pull this one off, but I'm going to throw it out there. Whether it's extra days off, extra vacation days, or just an easier schedule, flexibility in work hours or times worked. Think about it as recognition, granting employees who have gone above and beyond the freedom to adjust their schedules. It's a super powerful gesture of appreciation. Maybe they just need to arrive a little later. They can come in an hour later or leave early or enjoy a longer lunch break during a period of time that shows that you care about their work-life balance. Really important today. And certainly make sure that you're including public recognition. This really boosts morale. It inspires others by this publicity to celebrate those successes. And you can do this during team meetings or through company-wide emails. Shine this spotlight on employees' accomplishments. That not only motivates that employee who accomplished it, but it encourages others, their peers, to want to get that same recognition. There's another one, and this was used on me. I've used it myself, is give them an opportunity for professional development. Invest in their growth. And by doing so, you demonstrate their value. It could be online courses, webinars, conferences, workshops. Yes, these often cost a little bit, but the costs are generally pretty modest. But it's an investment that yields future benefits, because remember, their education is going to benefit you. It's going to make them feel more dedicated and motivated by you, committed to you, own more of their responsibilities there. So it benefits both sides. Very small investment. And I've got one company that does this next one so well. They have so much fun with it. It's so just simple. And you'll see this a lot in workplaces. And that's just a casual dress or a theme day. Now, I walked into this, is being recorded close to Halloween. I walked into one of my clients' buildings just this past week, and it was Halloween day, and people were in their costumes. A whole group of them had dressed like their boss, which was just hilarious, because the boss has a very significant or unique look about him. But it just lightens the atmosphere. It shows appreciation. It shows fun, whether it's casual dress, theme days, football days, retro days, holiday days. It's just lighthearted. It's fun. It brings the team together. Maybe do a little potluck lunch or something like that. Just celebrate. Celebrate. And those are just a handful. That's just 5 very simple and cost-effective gestures. There's dozens and dozens of them. And that'll create a workplace culture that prioritizes recognition and appreciation. That's a people-first mindset. Not that hard. It can get a little more difficult. But don't you want to boost morale? Don't you want to foster a more positive environment and watch your employees thrive? And please don't ever underestimate, I mentioned it earlier, I'm going to say it again, the power of mentorship. You want to be cultivating the next generation of leaders. It's vital to the long game, your company's growth. And it's your responsibility to invest your time in developing mentors to become mentors, and make sure they're investing their time and effort into mentoring promising individuals. And it's super tempting to skip these sessions. You can't. That's the discipline I talk about. Sure, things are going to get busy. Stuff's going to happen. But you've got to protect this at almost any cost. You must invest this time, because it's investing in your company's success and certainly its future. Invest in the people, take care of your people, they'll take care of your customers, everything else takes care of itself. I promise you. But you need to have a structured and impactful mentorship program. And when you start aligning this sort of thing with your organization's goals, this is part of your strategic plan. It's part of your mission, it's part of your culture, that you're looking for the developmental needs of your employees. This sort of program can foster skill development, improve retention. It facilitates knowledge transfer. You're growing. If you want to scale your business, you have to scale your people. So mentoring your teams is essential. And you need to start by identifying clear objectives. Where do I want to go? Where is my goal in all this? Where do I want to take this? Select your potential mentors, and they need to possess the expertise, the heart of a teacher, the interpersonal skills, and most importantly, the willingness to guide others. You got to choose the right human, not the best person at the job, but the person who's most likely to transfer their knowledge to somebody else. Be careful with that, because that's a mistake that is often made that kills mentor programs. You have to choose the right person who has the heart of a teacher and is willing to invest in others. It's generally more of a high S on the DISC scale. High Ds are often not effective at this. They're effective at getting things done. That's who you want when you want to get things done. But transferring knowledge, that may not be the right person. High S, much more likely to do it. But you have to provide them with a roadmap, a comprehensive training process to equip them with the necessary tools and techniques to become a mentor. And then you have to be thoughtful about how pairing mentors with mentees goes. Make sure you're taking into consideration career goals, personalities, areas of interest. They need to be able to get along and thrive with each other. And also remember, you're training the mentor at the same time you're training the mentee. We learn by teaching. You're making the person who is the mentor better. They're growing too. So that's where this stuff starts compounding. They need to schedule a regular check-in, about 30 minutes. It's all part of our performance management package. And they can assess the behaviors, the competencies that their mentees are working on, coach them through any necessary adjustments, and be supportive. You need to have a supportive environment that prioritizes open communication, mutual respect, and continuous learning. With a mindset that together, we're going to empower each other. And that really drives your organization towards success. Build a company that prioritizes its people. And as I said previously, many executives focus on other aspects of the business. But if you hire the right team members, create a healthy work environment, and adopt a coaching mentality, you're going to be on the path to success. Sounds simple, hard to do. It takes discipline, it takes commitment, it takes discomfort. But man, once you get there, great things are to follow, regardless of your industry. This is industry agnostic. And no matter what business, you're in the people business. When you prioritize your people, everything else falls into place. It's successful for a lot of reasons, but primarily because your employees are the backbone of your business. And their skills, their dedication, their engagement, their commitment is going to determine your success. You alone can only carry it so far. There's an old proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And you need your team to go together with you to your long-term goals. And by creating a culture that values and appreciates them, you foster this super positive work environment. That, by the way, environments like that attract the best people possible. Top talent loves to come to work for organizations like that. You're a magnet for other companies' talent because, believe me, your competitors aren't doing this. And the word will spread. And certainly here at Results-Driven Leadership, we 100% believe that when people thrive, businesses thrive. And you can achieve tangible outcomes and unite your team through common goals. And RDL has the approach and the tools you need to accomplish all that. We incorporate the principles that will strike a balance between business objectives and nurturing your individual strength and aspirations. And we help you embrace the holistic approach to drive performance and cultivate a culture where everyone feels valued, understood, and empowered to be an owner in your business, at least mentally, and to contribute to a success. Well, that's a wrap on another episode of the Business Mechanic Show. If today's content resonates with you, then you're going to love what we have to offer. For those of you who are ready to take your business or personal career to the next level, we have an array of training and coaching services tailored just for you. From performance coaching designed to enhance your potential, to executive coaching that guides leaders to steer their ships towards greater success. Are you in sales management or looking to fortify your leadership acumen? Dive into our sales management training and coaching. Not only will it sharpen your strategies, but it will also provide you an ROI that's undeniable. Remember, the best investment you can make is in yourself and your team. For those seeking flexible learning options, we're excited to share our online and in-person management leadership classes. These aren't just your typical courses. They are meticulously crafted, ensuring that they align with your unique needs and aspirations. And the best part, prices start at just $47 per month, making top-tier coaching and training accessible for everyone. Your growth, both personally and professionally, can have a ripple effect, the one I call the transformational triangle of change. The skills you learn, the perspectives you gain, and the efficiencies you create can translate into increased revenues, more cohesive teams, and an enriched company culture. So why wait? The potential ROI on this investment isn't just in dollars. It's in the progressive future you're carving out for yourself and your organization. Thanks once again for tuning in. And remember, every business needs a tune-up every now and then. Let the Business Mechanic Show be your guide. Check out our website, rdltraining.com, to discover more details on our programs and coaches. We have a link in the show notes to guide you there. Until next time, we're out of here.